First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, Asmadiya Paramarajatam, Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Parvishta Om Vishnupada, Ashtotar Satasismad, Rupanugacharya Varya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, offer my Sastang Dandavat Pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Sri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Parampara. And offer my pranam to all the sum of Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis one to one. So by the causeless mercy of Guru and Gauranga, today we are observing the auspicious occasion of Makara Sankranti and also the divine disappearance day of Srila Jiva Goswami Bhai. Excuse me. So Makara Sankranti means that the sun is entering into the Tropic of Capricorn. On this day, millions and millions, I cannot count how many millions, maybe more than 30 million people gather together at Prayag and at the appointed astrological time. They'll all try to take bath at the same time in the Ganga. So the Kumbh Mela, this is the first auspicious bathing day of the Kumbh Mela. And this series of Mahakumbha, which takes place only once every 12 years. So it is actually the largest faith gathering on the planet taking place right now. So millions of people have gathered there because they have heard that when the demons and demigods, they'd been at war for a long time, had many casualties. So they decided to make a truce and team up to work together in order to get Amrita, nectar, churning the ocean of milk. So, from this, many things were produced from the ocean of milk, but first thing produced was Kalgud bees, deadly poison, and all were in danger of being killed. It was a very difficult thing. First they had to get Mandara mountain to be the churning stick, then Vasuki, the great snake, to be the rope around the Mandara mountain. But they could not turn Mandara mountain. Supreme Lord had to appear as Kurmadev and go underneath and hold up the mountain in the ocean. Lord Vishnu also appeared on top of the mountain, on the bottom and the top to steady it. And he was also present there, assisting the churning on the side of the devatas. So before the churning began, Lord Vishnu told the devatas, pay attention. What the demons ask for, just give them. Whatever they want to give. And this is number one. Number two, never become angry. So the demigods, they heard the words of Lord Vishnu. And so they came to the churning. So the demigods, they came to the side of the snake where the head was. And they picked up the head. And the demons, they picked up the tail. The demons started asuras. Suras and asuras. They don't think we are demons. They think we are the Daityas and Danavas, the sons of Diti and Danu. Our dynasty is very great. They don't think that they are evil. They think they are good. Each side thinks that they are good. So, the demons, the asuras, they thought, what is this? How come they get to pick up the head, but we get to pick up the tail? Head is more important than the tail. Does that mean they think they are more important than we are? Asura is always thinking like this. Like a monkey looking around. Who's looking at me? Are you looking at me? You think you are better than I am? This is demon's mood. Devotee is not looking anywhere, not thinking anything. Only remembering Krishna. Who is absorbed in Krishna? When anyone's doing what anyone is saying, he has done nothing involved. Not concerned. Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, Gramya kata na sunibe, Gramya kata na koive. Don't talk village talk. He said that, she said that, he thinks and I thought, and hey, on and on and on and on forever. Don't speak it, don't listen to it. Period. You know that when Gopinath Patanayak, Ramananda Rai's brother, he got into a dispute with the son of king, the Prataparudra. Then, at that time, the prince had him arrested and was going to execute him. Actually, he wasn't going to execute him, he was just trying to scare him. So that time all the devotees were worried and they came running to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, please help. The prince has ordered that Gopinath Patanayak will be executed. Mahaprabhu was... And? Why? Because he insulted the prince. Oh, okay. So you insult the prince and you have to pay the price. Why are you telling me? And then another person came, running breathlessly, to tell him. And Mahaprabhu was sitting there thinking, I left my home, my mother, my wife and everything to come here to do bhajan. And they all want to involve me in this politics. Mahaprabhu immediately made a threat. He said, if I hear one more word about this, I'm going to leave you all, I'm going to Alanath. And he threatened to leave Puri and go and be alone in Alanath. Why? Mahaprabhu is setting the example. If you want to do bhajan and have avesh in Krishna Nam, Rup, Gun and Leela, you cannot stop for a commercial break every 15 minutes. For a news flash, for some advertisements. This is not bhajan. This is mundane life. So first thing Rupa Goswami said, Vacho Vegam, control speaking, and Prajalpanya Magraha, and Jana Sangha, Sangha Tyagat. Give up bad association, those who are addicted to the drugs of mundane talk and mundane affairs, Gramya Katar, Gramya Varta. If you want to do bhajan, even those in whose heart bhakti is appearing and they're entering into bhajan, if they'll be in the association of such persons, it will destroy their bhakti, so the company must be given up. So Mahaprabhu was staying in a lonely place in Gambhira, and only select few persons were allowed to come and be with him, trusted persons. Swarup Damodar, Roy Ramananda, they're not going to, even though Gopinath Patanayak is Roy Ramananda's brother, they're not going to walk into the Gambhir when Mahaprabhu is in Bhav and say, hey, you know what happened? The prince is doing this. They would never. Srivas Thakur's son died. His wives were weeping and wailing. And Mahaprabhu was in Bhav relishing Krishna Nam. He said, why are you crying? He said, oh, your son has died. He said, you've lost one family member. If you keep crying like this, you'll lose another one. Don't disturb the kirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, our acharyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, in his Acharya Leela, is showing what is the path of Ragamaya Bhakti. So, where are we? The demigods and the demons. They have the head and the tail of the Vasuki. And the demons are thinking, why do we have the stinky tail? The head is more important. Who do they think they are? They are more important. So then the demigods, they called out, the demons, called out to the demigods. Why do you have the head? We have to have the tail. We want to have the head. So then the demigods, they remembered the words of Lord Vishnu. That's what those words were coming in their mind. This is why hearing is important. Why do we have to be in association of Guru and Vaishnavas and hear? This katha is transcendental, and Supreme Lord will directly speak to you through the katha, and will tell what you need to hear to answer your questions, and preemptively give instructions and warning about situations that have not happened yet. Really, Harikatha is like this. Then, very soon, or after some years, you will be in a situation, and then that katha will come into your mind, and you will know what to do. So when the demons said, hey, why do you have the head? We want to have the head. You should take the tail. Then it came in the mind of the devatas. Whatever the demons say, just agree. And don't become angry. So then, it was surprising for the demons. The demigods, they did not give any resistance. They said, yes, of course, and you can have the head, and we will take the tail. Oh, that was easy enough, so they swapped over sides. And the demigods, they took up the tail, and the demons took up the head. Then they began to pull, and spin the Mandara mountain and journey. And there was so much strain on the body of Vasuki that he was coughing and vomiting. And fire and smoke and poison was coming from his head. And all the demons, they were covered in black smoke and choking and suffering so much. Then the demigods were thinking, oh yes, now we understand the wisdom of the Supreme Lord. Who will save you? Who will protect you? No need yourself to fight. Depend on Sri Krishna. Anyone cannot harm you, only yourself. So, first thing that was produced was poison, Kalkut Bish. Means, when you try to do anything productive, in the beginning obstacles may come. If you want to do something completely stupid that will ruin your life forever, it's so easy. All the doors will open and then nothing will be in the way. But if you want to do something really valuable, then difficulties will come in the beginning. And one will have to be very persistent and tolerant. So everyone was afraid, they thought they would die. But then Lord Shiva, he came and then he took that poison and drank it and saved everyone. So he did not swallow it, he kept it in his throat here. So his throat became blue. So he's called Nilakanta. You know, Nilakanta. It's a name for Lord Shiva, blue-throated one. His blue throat is the mark of what? His compassion. That he is prepared to take away the sufferings of all the living entities, because he is Vaishnava. Kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Because he is an ocean of mercy. And poison means criticism, Vaishnava Ninda. Not only Vaishnava Ninda, criticism of any living entity. It is like a poison. So if it will go, if someone will give you this poison, you have to be like Lord Shiva. That is, you don't let it go into your heart. And also you don't repeat it. That means you don't swallow it and you don't spit it out. You have to be like Lord Shiva. He held it in his throat. He did not. That means you don't take any criticism in your heart. And also you don't spit it out. That means you don't repeat to others the faults of others if you want to do bhajan. Those who are interested in asserting their own worth above others, and those who take pleasure in the humiliation of others, they have a taste in criticism. It's very advantageous for them, leverage for them. So the criticism of others is not caused by the faults of others. It's caused by the person who is criticizing. Because they have a taste in this. Because they want to tell, this fault is not in me. To repeat the fault of another person is to say, I don't have such a fault. Otherwise you would be telling your own instead of his. So criticism means to assert one's own worth and to feel satisfaction in the humiliation of another being. So those who are addicted to this, they are like demons. So criticism is never the defect of the person who is being criticized, but of the one who is speaking. So Lord Shiva has shown, or if by bad fortune one will hear something, don't swallow, don't spit it out. So they churned the ocean of milk, and many various objects came from the ocean. And finally, now this is the fourth avatar. Fourth avatar of the Supreme Lord appeared in the form of Dhanvantari with a kumbha, with the pot of the amrita, the nectar. So he kept that pot, and the demons and demigods began to quarrel over the pot, and some were spilt, and it fell and it landed in the confluence of Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati at Prayag at this time. So at the moment of this Titi, it is said that the Amrita from the churning of the ocean of milk is coming into the Sangha. And so those who will take bath at that time, they will attain the Amrita. So what does that mean? Most of the people there, almost all, they think this Amrita means Amrita, no death, that you become immortal. And this immortality means that basically Amrita, no death. Only you won't be born again, you'll get Mukti, Sayuja Mukti, Nirvana, Brahma Sayuja, Ishvara Sayuja. Somehow or other you'll mix with the light of Brahman or with God and extinguish your individuality forever, and therefore you will not take birth again. Just like the sky inside a pot. If there's a clay pot, there is air, there is sky outside the pot and inside the pot. And if you break the pot with the hammer, then the sky in the pot mixes with the sky outside of the pot, and now the upadhis are gone. So they think that this body and mind is only upadhi, and if it will be the relinquished, then the self will mix with Brahman and everything is one. So most have this idea. However, my Gurudev explained that when the Shastra tells that the Amrita is falling here, then all people become eager to go there. But the meaning of the Shastra is what? Always the same thing. Sadhu Sangha Shava Sastikoi Lavamato Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoi. If you are confused about the meaning of something, remember this point, because this is always the meaning. There may be other meanings, but this is the prominent meaning. That many sadhus, holy persons, they may go at that time out of mercy for the living entities. And so if someone will go there, then they may get some drops of Amrita. That means Tava Katamrita Tata Jivanam Kavi Biriritam Kama Shapam Shavana Mangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvignantije Buridajana. Janaha, there are some persons who are Burida. They are the profuse, most generous bestowers of benedictions upon others. And they are wandering on the surface of the earth. What do they give? Tavakat Amritam, the Amrita, the nectar of Sri Krishna's Katha. That means the word spoken directly by Krishna and word spoken about Krishna is Tavakata Amrita. So this is going on today, and this festival has been going on since the beginning of the universe. In the previous day of Lord Brahma to now, and in the next day of Lord Brahma, this festival is going on. So, 5,000 years ago, when Sri Krishna manifested his Prakat Lila in this world, then time was passing and it was coming to this day, Makara Sankranti. At that time, Nanda Maharaj and other Brijvasis, they were thinking, at least once in my life I should bathe in the Ganga and Makara Sankranti. So Krishna was just a boy, but he understood their heart. And Krishna said, "Oh Baba, oh Brajvasis, why do you want to leave Brajmandal? All the Dhams are present in this place." So then he brought the Brajvasis to the Giraj Govardhan. And then Krishna, he was thinking, meditating within his mind. And just there and then, a huge tidal wave came of water flowing over the center of Govardhan. And on that wave of water was a crocodile, and the goddess was riding on the crocodile. It was Ganga Devi. So, because the Ganges appeared there at Giraj Govardhan, when Sri Krishna meditated on her in his mind, so that place is called the Manasa Ganga. Manas Ganga. Then Krishna said, see, no need to go to the Prayag. Ganga is here, and now today is Makara Sankranti, so all Brajvasis can take bath in the Ganga. So this pastime happened today in Krishna's Leela. Today is also the disappearance day of Srila Jiva Goswami Pad. Perhaps you know that Srila Rupa Goswami, he met with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Prayag. Also, he was on his way to Vrindavan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on his way back. Rupa Goswami was on his way to Vrindavan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on his way back from Vrindavan, going along the Jamuna. And when he came to Prayag, there he met with Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. At that time, when Rupa Goswami saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from far away, Mahaprabhu was doing kirtan with thousands of people. And Rupa Goswami, he was with his brother, Vallabha. Mahaprabhu had changed his name to Anupam. So Rupa Goswami and Anupam, they were giving pranam, Dandavat pranam from far away. And Rupa Goswami was spontaneously offering prayers. At that time, he said this prayer. This is where the prayer comes from. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namah Yogyanamattam Bhuvanam Dayalo Ulangayamapyakarat Pramatam Swaprema Sampat Shudaya Bhutejam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mamam Prapadde. I offer my obeisances again and again to the most merciful incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Krishna Prema Pradayata is very mercifully distributing, freely distributing Krishna Prema. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, he is Krishna himself, but he has appeared with a golden complexion and taking the name of Sri Chaitanya. Yogyanamattam Bhuvanam Dayalu. The living entities in this world had become mad. Madness means when a person acts against their own benefit. When a person is constantly acting to his own detriment, then he is mad. So the living entities were maddened by what? By sense gratification. The very thing which is the root cause of all their suffering. They're engaged in again and again thinking, by this I will be happy. Why? Because they've lost all discrimination. They've become matta, intoxicated. Yo jnana mattam. So, yo ajnana mattam, those persons who are intoxicated by ignorance. Bhuvanam dayalu, or who is so compassionate. So prema sampat sudayat bhatejam, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached those persons out of mercy, and instead he made them become intoxicated with the nectar of his holy names. So I take shelter of that Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So Sri Rupa Goswami and Anupam, in extremely humble mood, they approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Seeing their humility, Mahaprabhu said, give up this humility, it's breaking my heart. They were so very, very humble. Vallabhacharya also came at that time. And Rupa Goswami, though he's so qualified, he played the role like a very quiet and ignorant person in the presence of Vallabhacharya. So, that Anupam, at this time, he had a son. He was in his village of Ramkeli. It is said that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Rupa and Sanatan for the first time, Anupam brought his son, who was very young, and put his head at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After that, that son, that was Jiva, he never saw Mahaprabhu again. And after meeting with Mahaprabhu in Prayag, then Anupam, when he was traveling with Rupa Goswami, he became sick and passed. So Jiva was left without a father. But Rupa Goswami, before leaving home, he had a vast amount of wealth. Half of it he gave away and to Vaishnava Brahmanas in charity. Another another quarter of what was left, the half that was left, a quarter, he kept aside with his family to pay for the education of Jiva. So even though his father passed away, his two uncles, Rupa and Sanatan, left home. But still, by the foresight and wisdom of Rupa Goswami, there was a large sum of money there that put him through very first-class education. So in his young age, he mastered all Sanskrit Vyakarana, Grammar, and Kavya, poetics. And after some time, he became struck with intense sentiment of vairagya, detachment from the world. At a very young age, he left home and he went to Navadvip. And there in Navadvip, he met with Nityananda Prabhu. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had just left this world. And Nityananda Prabhu, he took Jiva on the first Navadvip Dham Parikrama to the 9 islands of Navadvip and described to him the glories of every place and spoke to him about the glories of Goradham, Goranam, and the speciality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his Dham. Then Jiva Goswami, he wanted to stay at the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu forever. He didn't want to leave him. Nityananda Prabhu said, you have to go to Vrindavan, and there you should continue your spiritual education under the guidance of Rupa and Sanatan. But on the way there, I want you to go to Varanasi, and there you should study Vedanta from the Madhusudan Rajasmati, one disciple of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because Mahaprabhu had explained Vedanta Sutra, but no one wrote it down. So Sarvabhauma, he explained it to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he explained to his disciple, who then went to the Varanasi, to Kashi. And then Jiva Goswami came there and was educated and received all Mahaprabhu's concepts in regard to the true meaning of Vedanta. And then after being educated in Vedanta, Saddarshans, all of these things, then Jiva Goswami left there and then he came here to Vrindavan and lived under the very close and loving protection, especially of Srila Rupa Goswami. So, Srila Rupa Goswami gave Diksha to Srila Jiva Goswami. So Srila Jiva Goswami has the very unique position of being the one and only Diksha disciple of Srila Rupa Goswami. So once, one night, in a dream, Srila Rupa Goswami had the darshan of Radha Krishna, Radha Damodar. And Damodar said, oh, I want you to make vigraha of me and give to Jiva Goswami. Swapna deshe sri rupe Radha Damodare swahastan niman kare dile Shri Jivere. In Bhakti Ratnakara he said how Damodar gave the instruction to Rupa Goswami in a dream to make his deity with his own hands and give to Jiva Goswami. So Rupa Goswami thought, oh, I have never made in my life a deity before. He went to the Jamuna, and when he was taking bath there, he discovered a very astonishing stone. And then from this, Damodar Lord Damodar inspired Rupa Goswami. He said, "Don't worry, you just try, I am manifesting." So Krishna, in the form of the Damodar, he was manifesting himself. Only it appears that Rupa Goswami is making with his own hands. How bewildering is ahankar, our false ego, that in this world we consider ourselves and others to be the doers, when Adikarta, the original doer of all things, is Supreme Lord. So, to maintain the confidentiality of his position, Damodar, he manifested, but it was as if Rupa Goswami was creating him from a stone. And he gave the Damodar to Jiva Goswami. So, if you go to Jaipur, they will tell this is the original Radha Damodar. You see in Jaipur. Why? Because Aurangzeb, the tyrant, dictator, he wanted to smash all the temples and smash all the deities. So the king of Jaipur came and brought all the deities there. So, but in the Radha Damodar temple, they're saying that, let's see, in about 1542, the deity of Radha Damodar was moved from Vrindavan to Jaipur. But in the year 1739, he was brought back. So actually the Pratibhu Vigraha is in Jaipur, and the Radha Damodar in Vrindavan is the original deity made by Rupa Goswami. So, Jiva Goswami, he was always staying very close to Rupa Goswami, serving his lotus feet. There at the place of the Bhajan Kutir and Samadhi of Rupa Goswami, you can see they have kept open the vision of the dust. Everything is covered by marble and concrete now, but some dust is still available there. That is the place where every day as a very affectionate and dedicated disciple, Srila Jiva Goswami used to wash the feet of Rupa Goswami every day and then take Charanamrita. So the earth is still exposed there, so we can take the foot dust of Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami was extremely merciful to Jiva Goswami. He gave him the service of proofreading. That is, as Rupa Goswami was writing, he would tell Jiva Goswami, "Oh, can you do some shodhana, editing, proofreading?" So, once, the Vallabhacharya, he came to Braja, and Rupa Goswami was writing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu at that time. And Vallabhacharya said, "Oh, what are you writing? Can I see?" "Yes, of course." And he looked. And he read something. And then he gave it back. He said, would you allow me to proofread afterwards, editing? And Rupa Goswami said, "Yes, of course, it would be an honor." So Jiva Goswami was looking. And he thought, I myself, I am not editing, proofreading. This is only Gurudeva's mercy that he's engaging me in this way. My Guru Pada Padma, he cannot make any Siddhantic error or anything. He had this very strong faith. But he could see from the disposition of Vallabhacharya that it seems that he saw something that was wrong. So then, Vallabhacharya, he went to do his Nityakriya, daily duties in the Jamuna, and when he left, then Jiva Goswami, he was fuming a little, because he cannot tolerate any slight to his Gurudev. So on the pretext of fetching some water, he took a clay pot. And then he set off to Jamuna. It was not necessary for him to go to collect water, but he thought, I'll use this as an excuse. And there he came and he confronted Vallabhacharya. He said, "Oh, you have offered to proofread the writing of my Gurudev. Have you seen any defect?" Vallabhacharya said, yes, I have. I saw this, but I don't agree. So then a debate ensued. And in this philosophical and grammatical debate, Jiva Goswami was victorious. And Vallabhacharya, he was astonished. Oh, he came back, he said to Rupa Goswami, "Who is this student of yours? He's so bright, he's very sharp, very qualified." Rupa Goswami is very attentive. So he could see, oh, Jiva Goswami has approached him and tried to correct him over something. So then Rupa Goswami called Jiva and he told him, "You are not qualified to stay in Vrindavan. Anyone who tries to assert their own self-worth or who takes pleasure in the humiliation of others is not qualified to be in Vrindavan. Go, leave." So then, Jiva Goswami, on the one hand, he was broken-hearted. On the other hand, he could not disobey the order of his Gurudev. So Jiva Goswami, from Vrindavan, he went north. So if you keep going north, and just outside the border of, still in Brajmandal, but outside of the forest of Vrindavan, there on the bank of Jamuna, there's a place called Nandaghat. So he went there, wandering there, and there he found one crocodile hole, a hole that a crocodile used to live in, but now the crocodile had passed away. And he went and he lived there. And day and night he was chanting and crying and remembering his Gurudev and feeling separation. For days and days he went without eating or sleeping, and he became thin, he became sick, diseased. At that time, Sanatana Goswami, he used to do parikrama, he used to wander everywhere, all over Braj, Mathura parikrama, Vrindavan parikrama, Govardhan parikrama, going through all the vans, all the forests. And he came to that place, and one Brajvasi said, "Oh, Bara Baba," call him Bara Baba. "We know that you are such vairagi, very detached, but there's one Chota Baba here. We have never seen any vairagya like his, more than you." Sanatana Goswami said, "Really? Can you introduce me?" He said, "Yes, go there. This young Baba is staying in one crocodile hole at Nandaghat." So then Sanatana Goswami, he went there and he saw Jiva Goswami in a very terrible state, completely devastated, physically and internally, broken-hearted, in viraha, separation from his Guru Pada Padma. Sanatana Goswami's heart melted. So he picked up Jiva and then he brought him back to Vrindavan, not to Rupa Goswami but nearby. And then Rupa Goswami was telling Katha to the other Vaishnavas there, where is now Radha Damodar Mandir. And Sanatana Goswami came to him. He said, "Hey Rupa, you are giving a very learned lecture on the teachings of our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is their mamata for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Everything they're doing is only for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They're living, breathing, speaking, everything only for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." So he said, "You are giving very learned discourse, but it seems you have forgotten the teachings of our Prabhu." Rupa Goswami humbly said, Sanatana Goswami is his guru. He said, oh, what have I forgotten? He said, you should think. So then he began to remember the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Name Ruchi. Always have taste in chanting Nam. Jiva Doya. Always have mercy for the living entities. Sanatana Goswami said, yes, you have forgotten this teaching. And then Rupa Goswami, he smiled and he realized, oh, Jiva Doya. To be merciful to Jiva. Two meanings. So then Sanatana Goswami said, oh, come with me. And he brought Rupa Goswami into the presence of Jiva Goswami, who was completely debilitated, completely sick, unable to move, and constantly weeping. And Rupa Goswami saw his disciple, who could not live without him. And his heart melted, tears came in his eyes. And he took Jiva Goswami in his arms, and with his own hands, with cloth and water, he cleansed him, and gave medicine, and took care of him, and nursed him back to health. So, this is the relationship between Guru and Sisya, Sat Sisya and Sat Guru. Jiva Goswami did not make any mistake. Why? If anyone who make any attempt to diminish the spiritual glory of one's holy master, then it's the duty of the disciple to uphold the dignity of his Gurudev and his Parampara. So it was the duty of Jiva Goswami. But it's also the duty of the Guru to give the shasana, chastisement to the disciple, whether or not he made a fault. Guru is free. If there's a fault in the disciple, he can chastise. If there's no fault, it's also his right to chastise. Because by this, if the disciple will tolerate and not project any fault onto his Guru, then his ahankar, all false ego, will be obliterated. And his soul will be free to enter into the service of Radha and Krishna. So the kind words and the harsh words of Guru, all are mercy. Only pure mercy of the Supreme Lord. So there's no fault in Rupa Goswami, no fault in Jiva Goswami. But we see, how is the love of Jiva Goswami? Just like when Uddhav came to Vrindavan, at that time, Braj Gopis surrounded him. They said, hey Uddhav, we know that you are the friend of Krishna. So if you are Krishna's friend, he is Rasik, you must be Rasik. So if you are Rasik, then please answer our question. If love is Sahetu, it has a cause, then when the cause is gone, then the love is gone. So love which has a cause, which is conditional, must one day be broken. Because the conditions of this world are temporary. Just like a bird loves a tree, as long as it is green. But if it becomes dry, then the bird will leave. The deer loves the forest, but if there's a fire and it's burnt, the deer will give up the forest. The student loves the teacher, but when he receives his diploma, then he leaves, he never goes back. Because he was serving the teacher to get the diploma. The prostitute loves her client until his wallet is empty. Then he's not nowhere. So there are so many persons who have affection in this world, but with a cause. And when the cause is gone, the love is gone. So we ask this question. We love Krishna without any cause. So, and praying is not one-sided. Both sides are there. We loved him without any cause, and he loved us without any cause. So how is it that this love is broken? And he has left us. Can you answer our question, Uddhav? Uddhav was scratching his head. He could not understand. So the mature relations, they are sahetu, they have a cause. But the relation between Sadguru and Satsishya is nirhetu, no cause. Really. This is a transcendental and eternal relation. So we see that when, apparently very cruelly, Rupa Goswami unjustifiably told him, "You are not qualified, leave Vrindavan." Then, did the love of Jiva Goswami for his Gurudev go down? No, because it is ahetu, without any cause. Yasya deve prabhakti yatha deve tatha garo tasyaiti katitha yata prakashante mahatmana. When a disciple has affection for his guru like this, then after he can understand what is the love between Krishna and gopis of Vrindavan. Understand? So, it seems that Rupa Goswami was very cruel. But when Jiva Goswami was lying in that crocodile cave and crying in separation from Rupa Goswami, at that time, all the pastimes of Krishna manifested in the heart of Jiva Goswami. And it became Gopal Champu. Srila Jiva Goswami's masterpiece on revealing all the confidential aspects of Krishna's Prakat Leela, the inner moods and ideas and motivations of all the different personalities in Krishna's Prakat Leela in the most astonishing, unprecedented way. So, it seemed that it was not mercy, but really it was mercy. And as he became absorbed deeply in more and more separation from his Gurudev, their hearts became closer and closer. And all the nectar from the heart of Rupa Goswami was pouring out and filling the heart of Jiva Goswami. And it came out in his writing. Some people say that Jiva Goswami has supported Swakiyavad, that Radha and Krishna are married. Because in Gopal Champu, after Krishna leaves Vrindavan, goes to Mathura and then goes to Dwarka, then after the killing of Dantavakra, he comes back to Braj and marries Srimati Radhika and Braj Gopis and ends in the Swakiya mood. So some persons say Jiva Goswami has given the teaching that Parakya Bhav is only one Leela in this world, in the Prakat Leela, but in the spiritual world there is the Nitya Sambhog and the Swakiya Rasa only. So, in Lochan Rochani Tika of Ujjwal Nilamani, Srila Jiva Goswami has written, Swaichchaya likitam kinchit kinchidatras parechchaya. I have written some things out of my own desire, and I have written some things due to the desire of others. That means that among the disciples of Jiva Goswami, some of them, they were qualified for the Shuddha Parakya Rasa, and others, by constitution, by their nature, they were inclined to Swakiya Bhav. So he's written something for all of them. However, the setting of Gopal Champu is the Golok Tattva. There in Golok there is Swakiya mood. And in Braja there is Parakya mood. And in between there are so many prakashas, so many dimensions of Leela which are mixtures. Avivikta, Swakiya, Parakya. So there's some Golok Tattva there. So Jiva Goswami has written about one prakash which is Avivikta, Swakiya, Parakya. Radha and Krishna are together in the spiritual world, legally. And they're discussing with each other about the Prakat Leela. So there's some Aishwarya. You understand? So there's some Golok Tattva. And they're hearing from Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta telling their own pastimes. And in the end of this incredible drama, which is all completely, the Prakat Lila which is described, is all completely Shuddha, Bharatiya, Naravat, Madhuryamayi Brajaras. All from the beginning of Krishna's Lila, how Radha and Krishna fall in love. Has anyone described Purvarag of Krishna and the Gopis like Jiva Goswami? Never, no one, ever. As described, how gradually Radha and Krishna, they fall in love with each other. All their emotions, as they are attached. Hearing the sound of Krishna's flute, we described in the in Kaliya Rad. When Krishna came out of the water and walked onto the bank of Jamuna, as he walked past gopis, they fainted. Just seeing his beauty, the Kaustubha jewel for the very first time upon his chest. And their Purvarag manifested for the first time on that day. So everyone stayed there at night, and in the morning when they were leaving, the gopis' family members had to guide them to the bullock carts. Come, walk this way, come and get on the bullock cart. Because they were senseless. They were completely senseless due to the manifestation of this intense Purvarag for Krishna. And when Krishna saw this, his heart was melting and he was thinking, how can I help them? How can I keep them alive? So then he thought, perhaps I can relieve their condition and bring them back to some type of normality by playing my flute. So from that day, Krishna used to play his flutes every day out of compassion to revive the gopis. So in this way, he describes so beautifully all the Purvarag of Braj gopis and how they finally come to meet for Rasa Lila and all the Braj Leelas. And then Krishna leaves, goes to Mathura. There's a meeting of courts at Kurukshetra. And then finally Krishna comes back. And when he returns, Radha and Krishna are married. So why did he end with this married Leela? First of all, in order that the devotees can taste Samriddhiman Sambhog. Samriddhiman Sambhog means the fully nourished type of meeting that occurs after long separation. So if Krishna will come back to Vrindavan, but when he gets back, then they still can't meet with him. Then the full manifestation of Samriddhiman Sambhog has not taken place. Now someone may argue, but if the full manifestation of Samriddhiman Sambhog will take place, that they'll be married. Then the rasa will go down because it will go from Parakiya to Swakiya. And so on the one hand, you've achieved the experience of the rasa of the Samriddhiman Sambhog, but on the other hand, you've made the rasa come down. So, for those who are in Swakiya rasa, then for them they are satisfied. And for those who are in Parakiya, they can also relish this. But we know that in the Nitya Lila, in the highest Golok, this may only be experienced either as Jagaraya and Swapana or Swapyamana Jagara. There are two things. One is a waking condition that occurs during sleep, or a sleeping condition that occurs while being awake. Sometimes Krishna and Braj Gopis, they have dreams when they're asleep. And these dreams are so real, they are as real can be. And so, such a ras can be relished in the dream there. Sometimes when they're awake, in the waking state, they have daydream also. And even that can be as real as meeting. And so this becomes a component of the rasas which are relished, even in the highest lila, which is Shuddha Parakiya. So, there's no loss, everything is all gain. And for those who are attracted towards the Swakiya rasa, they are also satisfied. Now, another thing, someone may say, Jiva Goswami has glorified Swakiya Rasa. And we can tell, yes, he has glorified Swakiya Rasa because it's glorious. It's what? Very glorious. However, he's glorified Swakiya Rasa in order to prove the glories of Parakya. Because if you say, the Swakiya is not so important, Parakya is the best. But if you say Swakiya is very, very high, but Parakya is higher, then you have glorified Parakya even more. So, in his Gopal Champu, when Radha Krishna are united in Swakiya mood, then Radharani says to her Sakhi, Ya kaumara harasa evari vrasta evatai chakshapaste chanvelitimati surabhaya pravada kadamalina sachai vasyatata pitatra surata vyapara lila vido reva roda sivetasi tarutule chaitas mudkantate. Mahaprabhu told this verse in front of Lord Jagannath also at Rath Yatra. Very, very deep. Radharani said, oh, that same person who stole my youth when I was young, he's the same person and I am the same person. These are the same moonlit nights in the month of Chaitra, in the spring season. The same breeze is blowing from the Kadamba forest, carrying the fragrance of jasmine flowers. But I am not satisfied here. My mind is hankering to be on the bank of the Reva river in the dense, impenetrable forest of Vetasi, Ratan Cane. So, when the Sakhis heard this, they thought, what does she mean? What is she saying? But Krishna, oh, I know what she means. In other words, Jiva Goswami presents the conclusion in the Swaki Lila, and it's all happy, but at the end of it, Radharani said, my heart is hankering for the way it was. That means before, in the Parakya Lila, in the Prakat Lila in Braj, how sweet it was. So then, Radha and Krishna on the Gokul side at that time. And so they crossed the Jamuna to the other side, and when they go to the other side, then they go into the mood that they were in before, and relish Parakya. And when the Rasa Lila and everything is over, relishing this, then they cross the Jamuna again and go to the Gokul side, and then they come back into Swati. So this is called Avivikta Swakiya Parakya. Yogamaya arranges that is not the one or the other, but both possibilities of the Supreme Lord's pastimes are unlimited. So Srila Jiva Goswami, yes, he has glorified Swakiya. Why? Because Swakiya is glorious. But the intention of glorifying the Swakiya was to make the devotees who in Shuddha Parakya taste the Samriddhiman Sambhog, and also then through describing the glories of Swakiya, establish the supreme glories of Parakya. Understand? So, the glories of Srila Jiva Goswami are unlimited. He is the most prolific of all the Gaudiya writers. He has written 400,000 verses. Even the Mahabharata, which is the most vast epic in the whole planet, the Iliad and the Odyssey of Homer can be put inside the Mahabharata several times over. And that is 100,000 verses of Sanskrit. Jiva Goswami has written 4 times more. So it is inconceivable how prolific, how he was doing bhajan and also producing one immaculate, perfect masterpiece after another. It's inconceivable. It is superhuman. It is not humanly possible to do what Srila Jiva Goswami has done. And therefore, even a faithless person must shake their head in disbelief and say, okay, I accept his Vilas Manjari. The eternal associate of Radha Krishna, who is a Chid Vibhuti of Supreme Lord, of Radha and Krishna themselves as manifested in this world to do the impossible. To set the example of the life of pure Rupanuga Bhajan and full dedication to the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami, and also to manifest an impossible amount of Shastra. There are some authors today, they write a lot. But what is the standard of their writing? To produce a vast ocean of Shastra in one lifetime. It's very difficult to touch even everything that just Jiva Goswami has written in one person's lifetime. And of what high standard, so deep. Qualified person, if they will read Jiva Goswami, they can see this is his Samadhi Bhasha. Completely from his Samadhi, from his trance, he's writing. Every word is perfect, transcendental, and full of unlimited meanings. So I began my introduction to Jiva Goswami. Now time, already half an hour I went over time. I was going to speak about Bhakti Sandarbha. So I think we can also continue to discuss the glories of Jiva Goswami tomorrow. Now, is there some festival? Can you tell us about there's a festival for the disappearance of Jiva Goswami. So even though his disappearance day is today in Radha Damodar, because today is Makara Sankranti, they're going to hold his disappearance festival tomorrow. That is something that will be tomorrow, so is that correct? So what time? 10 o'clock. And what is the program, do you know? So tomorrow at 10 o'clock, there will be Kirtan and Parikrama from Radha Damodar Mandir. Yeah, inside, around some of the streets of Vrindavan. Will the Vigraha of Jiva Goswami go in the procession? I'm not sure. But his Vigraha will be out and in front of Radha Damodar. And then they will come back after Nagar Sankirtan. Then there will be some Harikatha and glorifications of Srila Jiva Goswami. And then after that there will be a big feast of Radha Damodar Mahaprasad for all the devotees. Okay. So tomorrow, beginning at 10 o'clock. Some of us, we have some other obligations. So I will try to be there at 11. Yes, I will arrive at 11. But I am recommending devotees, if you can go, 10 o'clock. And I will come at 11 and join the Kirtan and Harikatha, and then whenever there will be the noon Arti, and then feast there at Radha Damodar. Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Ki. Sankranti ki jai, Shri Manasi Ganga Vibhav Mahotsav ki jai, Srila Jiva Goswami Bhakti Vibhav Mahotsav ki jai, Variswasa Shri Vishwanandini Srimati Radharani ki jai, Jai Gaura Premanande.
Pujapad Shri Prabhupada Maharaj ki
Jai.
He's going to speak tomorrow at 4 o'clock. No, he said today. He will speak today. So anyway, I'm going to Dada now. And I found the exact program. No, okay. He's told me today. I'll just check. If you speak at 4, we'll probably finish by now. Yes, yes. But if it's a Safa, then you play going for many hours. Before, they had sometimes for 3-4 days. And that was